we are all about here in the National Park Service.
Exactly.
Providing that access and letting people enjoy these places, but still making sure that the resources, that the habitat, that the surroundings are still protected from any damages, so that those are there for future generations to be able to enjoy. That's what we are. We're in the forever business, right? And so we want to make sure that this place is awesome forever.
Back open at last. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. This is Season 4, Episode 25. It has been 6 years and some months since George Childs Park has been open to the public. A couple weeks ago, the favorite of so many locals and visitors reopened after the National Park Service worked to restore the park's trails and platforms following a destructive winter storm back in 2018. The new Childs Park is even more accessible, protecting nature and giving folks a whole new way to experience the waterfalls and beauty that surrounds visitors here. I'll walk and talk with Kathleen, one of the park rangers, thankful to have Childs Park back open in just a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers. With historic downtowns and iconic family resorts, it is the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now back to the episode. We got a sneak peek a year ago on the progress that was being made at Childs Park. The historic park is a fan favorite and brought out lots of folks who were excited to venture down in and amongst the falls after more than 6 years. Here's our discussion with Kathleen Sant with the National Park Service on opening day. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. It's Jim Hamill with Pocono Television Network, and we are here on the day that Childs Park has reopened. Kathleen Sant with the National Park Service is here. You got the sign here. You have so many people who just witnessed that reopening of the park. How excited are you guys?
We are so excited, and seeing the look on everybody's faces today when they started to arrive early and then start out on that trail for the first time. For many of them, return visitors who've been looking forward to this for quite a few years, 6 years. So we're very excited.
Since 2018's massive storm here, and people keep showing up here.
They keep showing.
Let's follow them down the path.
Let's see what they're going to look at.
George Childs Park. This thing goes back to the late 1800s. I mean, that is an impressive legacy here of what George Childs wanted to provide. And of course, the storm in 2018 kind of upended what people could enjoy here. But now so much time and effort has been put in to making this place so special and accessible.
Yes, very much accessible. We've expanded the accessible portion of the trail. So those with limited mobility or who you pushing strollers, it's been a while since I pushed one of those, pushing strollers are able to get farther into the site now. They can get to 2 of our observation platforms and one of the historic CCC structures within the site. So we're very excited about that.
I love that we came back here last year, kind of like as a sneak peek of what work was going on. There were still some finishing touches to do. And that Civilian Conservation Corps infrastructure that was here is so interesting. Because it came out of a time period where folks were, put to work on the front lines, creating these places where people could enjoy the outdoors in a communal space in a free way, right?
And in a way that still protected that environment, right? Which is what we are all about here in the National Park Service.
Exactly.
Providing that access and letting people enjoy these places, but still making sure that the resources, that the habitat, that the surroundings are still protected from any damages, so that those are there for future generations to be able to enjoy. That's what we are. We're in the forever business, right? And so we want to make sure that this place is awesome forever.
And so now, as we walk along the path here, you have park rangers kind of set out there to help people understand that mission, all the work, share some before and after photos as well. So it's really this way for the community to get back acclimated to what Childs Park is and has been for well over a century.
Yeah. And so again, we're looking forward to welcoming some new visitors to the site, but we know this is a favorite area among Pocono residents. It's a favorite area among local residents. And from talking to many of the people who arrived this morning to get in here on that first day, so many of them were return visitors who were looking forward to getting back in here, looking forward to bringing their children back into this site. So we saw multiple generations. We even have people who worked here years ago that came out today to kind of see what was what we've brought back to the public. We're so pleased.
It was a process, though, was it not? I mean, you had to have the contractors, you had to have all the various pieces of that puzzle, and Mother Nature overall. The seasonality of this location also presents challenges from time to time. So it must have just been like this difficult process, but nonetheless important process, right?
Right. It was, like you mentioned, it was like a puzzle, lots of different pieces to put together, whether it was the repairs, the damage assessments, the cost estimates, the scopes of work for the contractors, so we knew what we needed them to do, securing funding for each step of the way, too. We had to be able to make sure that we had funding to be able to do all of the work that was needed to be done. And again, a lot of the behind-the-scenes work that has to go into that, where we're making sure that the work that's happening here isn't doing any further harm to the environment. While we're not doctors, we do kind of practice that same credo of first do no harm, right? So we didn't just jump into the work until we knew that what we were doing wasn't going to cause any further damage here, would protect the resources surrounding the area.
Yeah, great work. Dingman's Creek here, a treasured natural resource here feeding down into the Delaware River and into the gap here.
And tumbling over Dingman's Falls on its way, right? So another set of waterfalls even further downstream at a popular site.
Now we are down here on this newly refinished overlooking deck at Factory Falls. This was one of the structures that really needed some updating because Mother Nature, the big storms, but also, too, this is a perfect vantage point for people to get to from an accessibility feature, right? Like a lot of people of all mobilities can reach this point.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This and another observation area can now be reached from our accessible portion of the trail, which is really exciting because more people will be able to get in here and enjoy the scenic wonder that's around us.
And it is gorgeous this time of year in October. We're hitting peak foliage.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time to get out here this fall. We have a hemlock ravine and a lot of pine trees. And then the deciduous trees mixed in with that really makes them pop.
All right, let's take a little stroll back down around because, like you said, this is one of two vantage points people with, all kinds of mobilities and abilities can reach because of the new infrastructure here, right?
Yeah. Yep, we're really excited about that.
That's exciting.
I need a better word than exciting.
I mean, really, that hits the nail on the head, though, doesn't it?
And then these you can see, too, I don't know if you checked those out, but some of the
work that was done.
Complex work that was done. So this isn't just like throwing a deck back out there. There's a lot of work that went into this, these little individual cuts to make sure that it was strong and sturdy and be able to hold people standing on it and also last as long as possible.
Yeah, for as long as possible, right?
Hi, folks.
Hi, all.
Welcome back.
It does look right. People are grinning ear to ear here because, it's their first taste of it in 6.5 years.
Yes. And it's been our number one question for all of that time, too. When is Child's Park going to reopen? When is Child's Park going to reopen?
Right.
We're so excited again to finally be at that point where we can say it is open. You can come back there. You can bring your kids. You can bring your family. Come on back and enjoy it.
This is really a special place, clearly for this time of year. What is the seasonality of this place? When Mother Nature dumps a lot of snow down here, do you guys have to kind of have the access?
The gates at Child's Park will be closed for the winter as they were before. So either January 2nd or the first significant snowfall, whichever comes first. Because of the environment here, it's very difficult. You can't remove snow. You can't make sure that this area is free of ice often enough to be able to have a site like this open in the wintertime.
But the spring thaw, of course, that would bring a lot of water down through.
Yes, it does.
Spring.
Yeah.
And that would make for amazing waterfall peeping here in the springtime.
Yeah. So spring, it's great for seeing the waterfalls. And again, anytime it rains. All summer long, right? Anytime the day after a rainy day is absolutely beautiful here at any of the park's waterfalls, but especially Child's.
Wonderful. Kathleen Sant with the National Park Service here at George W. Child's Park in the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area. Thanks for joining us here on the podcast.
Thanks for coming out.
Absolutely. Child's Park open once again, depending on the weather this winter, of course. Be sure to check out the park on PoconoMountains.com. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen.
Celebrate our great restaurant scene and our chefs that make it happen during Restaurant Week.
Enjoy.
The Pocono Mountains is the best when it comes to creative food and beverage. Why not try something new? Or sample our international flavors and mountain favorites. These are the most delicious weeks of the year. You just have to know when it is. Visit PoconoMountains.com.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Now for a Pocono Mountains Podcast Extra. Recently, Chris and Deanna visited the new Nesquehoning train station, part of the Reading and Northern, taking passengers on excursions throughout the Poconos, especially to see fall foliage. Here's a listen to their recent visit. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, it's Deanna Fontanez.
And Chris Barrett.
We're back here again at the Nesquehoning train station for the official grand opening this time and the ribbon cutting. We had the opportunity to talk to two amazing people who have so much knowledge and history about the train station, number one, and the steam locomotive 2102.
That's right. And we spoke with Senior Vice President and General Manager Matt Fisher. He told us a lot of great stuff. Let's hear what Matt has to say. Everybody, here with Matt Fisher. He is the guy that runs the railroad here, and we're so happy to have him in Nesquehoning today. So, Matt, this is a great day, not only for the railroad, but for Nesquehoning.
Right.
What does this mean for economic development for this town?
It's a lot for economic development, from the hotels, the restaurants, the people that are spending the entire weekend in the area, and hopefully coming back as well in the future to not just only ride the train, but do whatever the Poconos have to offer.
So what excursions will leave from this station and make it different for the overall experience of the railroad?
So special excursions will leave the Nesquehoning Regional Railroad Station, and they can go either towards the Reading or the Scranton area, since the Nesquehoning Station is pretty much in the middle of our main line from those two cities.
So if somebody wanted to get more information on what those excursions are, how would they do that?
To get more information about the train, they can simply go to our website, rbmnrr.com, and ticket sales, all kinds of information about not just the Nesquehoning trips, but the Reading, Pittston, and Jim Thorpe Lehigh Gorge trips are there as well.
And Matt, thank you so much to you and your team and to Andy for supporting this region with this type of resource and investment. And we wish you the best of luck with this first one from this great, lovely station, Nesquehoning.
Thank you so much, and thank you for covering the railroad, and we very much appreciate being part of the Poconos.
Excellent. Thank you.
So I'm here with Jamie. So Jamie, tell me a little bit about the history about the steam locomotive, the trains, and the passenger rides.
Well, this steam locomotive number 2102 was built in 1945 by the Reading Company. It was built in the shops in Reading, and it was actually built to haul freight. This locomotive served most of its freight service pulling coal trains, which we still do service the anthracite today, albeit with diesels. In the 1960s, it was repurposed for passenger excursions known as the Iron Horse Rambles that were run by the Reading Railroad. And then it was run for various other excursions in the 1970s, 1980s, up until 1991 when it was taken out of service. And it sat out of service until we restored it 2 years ago. It was a 6-year process, about $2.4 million. But in 2022, we brought it back to passenger service, and the Reading and Northern Railroad started doing our own version of the old Iron Horse Rambles.
I love that. So the last time we were here, we had a chance to talk to you back in June. So this is the second ride of that Iron Horse Rambles excursions that you guys did for this year.
Correct. It's actually the third one, but it's the second one out of the Nesquehoning location. In June, we went up to Tunkhannock for the Founders Day Festival.
So tell me about the passenger rides. Why do people come and take the rides here from Nesquehoning?
Well, there's beautiful scenery, there's a lot of nostalgia, and it's a great family outing. This trip, approximately the first 25 miles after we get through the town of Nesquehoning, will be through the entirety of Lehigh Gorge State Park. It's a very beautiful place. We have very steep mountains that go down to the Lehigh River. You get stunning views. We cross the river 4 times. And then when we get to Whitehaven, we start climbing up Penobscot Mountain, up to Mountaintop. And then it's all downhill to Pittston from there. We go through some very rugged, remote mountain territory. We have some vistas where you can look out to the west side of the train and overlook Wilkes-Barre and other areas. You can probably see 60 or 70 miles. So people come for the scenery. A lot of people come for nostalgia. There are people who rode this train back on the original Iron Horse rambles. And there's also young people experiencing it for the first time. Kids are very into trains via Thomas and Polar Express and such. And this gives them a chance to experience the real deal. So it's a great family activity, a great outing, and there's just nothing else like it in this area.
Last time we talked about the nostalgia part of it too, where generations and generations of families, even yourself, you were telling me last time how you're like the third generation of train lovers and, you know, the history and all of it behind it.
Correct. My father was very into rail fanning, and when we were kids, this is what he did. He took us on the train. And, we were watching trains, we had model trains, and I loved it enough that it carried into my adult life, and now I'm a rail fan and I work for the railroad.
Well, everyone, you saw a great day here in Carbon County, right? I mean, with this being at the new Nesquehoning station was just amazing to see that second train.
What an honor and experience for the Muller family, having such a passion for trains. He was telling us growing up and turning it into a business and sharing it now with other families and other generations where they can enjoy the rides and have their kids come along, and then it kind of just keeps going from there. I love that.
That's the amazing part of it. It's like you have a dream, the dream comes true, and now, right, like thousands and thousands of families are enjoying it. And it's right here in the Pocono Mountains, which even makes it better. But the employees here, they're the folks that really make it come alive, right?
I had such an amazing time talking to Jamie again. She is not only an incredible person, but so knowledgeable about the train. And I love learning about the history, which she shared with you guys as well. So it's making me want to get into trains more, which is, and just, I'm definitely coming back for a ride. So I feel like you should definitely do that too.
Oh, yeah. And I love Jamie, too. She's a great person. It's just like when you come here to the region to visit, she would be one of the people that you could actually talk to. She would love to talk to you about the 2102. She knows every detail, every bolt. She actually showed it to us. So really come and visit. And when you come and visit our region, wherever you happen to be in it, make sure that you have a trip to Nesquehoning or Jim Thorpe. Check our website out at PoconoMountains.com. It'll tell you how to do that because this is a must-see attraction, right, Deanna?
Yes. So definitely check their website for other rides coming up the rest of the year.
I'm Chris Barrett for the Pocono Television Network.
And I'm Deanna Fontanez. We'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains podcast. We'll have more podcasts coming up on Taste of the Poconos, Pocono Mountain Restaurant Week happening middle of November. You can find out more at PoconoMountains.com. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.